Hello guys, welcome to the channel. It is me, Carter's Programming Practice. Now, in today's video, we will be going over Edabit, which is a great coding challenges website where you can do a bunch of challenges ranging from very easy to expert in tons of languages from C# to Swift and everything in between. You will also be learning how to use certain IDEs and editors and how that will help to enhance your coding process and your problem solving motives. Now, make sure to subscribe, like, comment down below, turn on the bell if you guys enjoy. In a couple of days, in the near future, we will be doing a video where we take some of your guys' actual challenges, and we will actually be doing that in video form. So I will be answering your guys' challenges. You'll know if your challenge has been accepted when you comment it, because I will pin that comment. So comment down below challenges that you want me to do, and you'll have a good chance of it being in the next video. Anyways, continuing on, we're going to go through how Edabit works. This is going to be very simple. Okay, so we have a bool return true. This is our function body. It's our starter function as well, in the code tab above. So we go to the code tab, and in here, we're just gonna write return true, like it wants, right? You can also do return 1. We're just gonna do true to satisfy what it wants. 1 would also check out, but we're just gonna do true. So that's basically all it is between the curly braces, and then a red submit final. So because I've already done this challenge, this is actually good exposure. When you've already done a challenge, it actually shows check. Usually there will be a submit final, but I'm just gonna check this, and then we're just gonna continue on to the next challenge, and then I can show you guys what I'm talking about with a red submit final. So there we go, there's the sound of it actually passing. We're gonna continue on to the next one. So we're gonna skip this one for now. We're just gonna go on to find the perimeter of a rectangle, right? It's basically just length and width and finds the perimeter, right? So you're just timesing each object by 2 and then adding those sums per se together. So they want you to return the result. You always want to return the result if it's in a function form, and you can always go to the resources tab to find some stuff that will help, like here's some links and stuff, and then solutions. If you really need to, you can click this. I'm not going to click this. So yeah, we're just going to write a simple code that this is called sum, right? Make it an int type, int sum equals the length times 2, right? Pretty simple. And then sum1, have to make it int, sum1 equals the width times a factor of 2 again. Now, int total sum, you write variables like this with the second word being capitalized. If you did a third, that would say we, right? You would capitalize the W so that it knows where your word will actually be stopping and the new word will be taking place. So, but we just want total sum, and we're just gonna have sum plus sum1. Right, you could have done this all in one step. I was just wanting to show you guys how you can write stuff out if you want to understand it and make your code a bit more readable to some more of the less experienced coders. So I'm just going to return this total sum, right? So we're just returning total sum. Pretty simple. Putting it all inside your function body. These are variables that are actually within your function. Functions are written pretty similar to this in every language. I'm not entirely sure how it's written in others, but there's always going to be something that you can input, a variable per se, that you can input in here, like the length and width are right here, and that will be able to actually just get what you need inside of the function itself. So we're just going to check this. I'm going to see if we've done this correctly, and then hopefully we're going to be able to continue on because we did. Okay, so that's going to be the sound that you're hearing a lot if you're getting them right. So I'm just going to click submit final. There's your submit final button. Going to want to click that. And then it's either going to ask you how you rated it. Yeah, so we're gonna say this one was very easy. You can rate it. You don't have to rate it what the actual challenge level was. You can rate it your level for yourself, so that it knows where to place you on your next challenge. I'm gonna put very easy. I'm gonna continue on to the next challenge. Now, for this sake, I'm gonna be going up to actually the challenges bar, and then going back down. But usually, it's a really good idea to do the actual click next challenge because it's placing you where you need to. And if you realize something is too hard, then you can go back up, click the challenges bar if you need to. But I would definitely recommend doing next challenge. So we're gonna do this one, and then we're gonna do this one, and then we're gonna continue on into some easies and maybe one medium at the end to kind of finish it off and show you guys what may be to come. So is the number less than or equal to 0? We're gonna be doing this one. So we're going to see if it's less than or equal to 0, right? So we're just gonna have to write a conditional if statement. Now this is gonna be big in your programming experience. Conditional if statements are huge. So you're just gonna write an if statement, right? If, here's where you're gonna put the conditions that you want to be met, and then inside of these brackets, you're actually just gonna put what you want to be done if those conditions are met, right? So that's why they call it an if statement. So it's going to be num is less than or equal to 0. That's basically, it's as simple as it can get. And then down here, you're just gonna put return true. Just wanted to double check that. And then down below, you can put your else statement and then return false, right? So this is an if else. So if this is met, boom, you're gonna return true. Else, you're gonna return this. So this is pretty simple. So we're just gonna continue with this, and we're just gonna see if it's correct. Okay, so we have passed this next challenge, and we are going to continue on to some more easy challenges. Okay, so we've gotten this one correct. We're gonna rate the clarity of the actual instructions. We're gonna rate it a 5 because the instructions were very clear. And then we're gonna continue. We're gonna go back up to the challenges bar. We're gonna do that one that I've been saving, correct the mistakes. So in this one, they have certain mistakes within the code that they want you to actually correct. So we're just gonna put an R here because it wants int squared, and then a space between here because your variables between the type of variable and the actual variable name, you're gonna want to put a space there so that it knows that that's not just your type, but it's also your name as well. So then within here, we realize that they have the return, they have the a times a, but we just need to have the semicolon in here at the end so that it knows that this is stopped and that it actually isn't going on infinitely all the way over here. So we're just gonna be doing this, and we're gonna see if this is correct. We're gonna check this, make sure we've fixed all of the mistakes within this actual code. This was made just to show you that sometimes little mistakes like no R here, no space between the A, and no semicolon at the end can actually make your program not run correctly and have a bunch of errors due to those. We're gonna submit this, and right after this, we're gonna move on to some easy challenges. So yeah, we're just gonna continue on to that. Okay, the clarity of the instructions on this one was very clear. We're just gonna click next challenge and continue on. So we're gonna go back out. We're gonna change it from very easy to easy. Now we're gonna go through, we're gonna do the triangle number sequence first, I think. Just because I believe that will be the simplest one. So, right, you can do this actually a multitude of ways. This one is very versatile in that you can do it so many ways. I'm going to show you 2 ways that you can actually do this problem. One is much more simple, but it also requires a lot more thought. So, first we're going to write a for loop. Now, guys, a for loop, you first need to declare an interval. So, here is our actual integer. We have our integer here. So we have g equals 0. While g is less than n, right, because we want it to do that each one, then we're going to have g be added. Now, we're going to also create ourselves an int counter variable. Or actually, never mind, we'll do a sum. Int sum, right? We're gonna set that equal to 0 right now, and then put our brackets, put something inside of this body of the actual for loop. So from within here, we're gonna put actually our, we're gonna say sum plus equals g, right? So this is gonna be very simple. And then below our for loop, we don't want it inside the for loop. We don't want it to return each time where it iterates through. We're gonna want it at the final and last iteration. Once that is passed, it's gonna move down from line 6 to line 7, and we're gonna want it to return our sum. Very simple. Hopefully this is correct. And then there's one other way that we can actually do this. Okay, so our sum needs to equal 1. Or wait, what are we doing? Okay, sum plus equals g. So this is actually a good example of troubleshooting. We have to reread the instructions first. So first we're going to want to reread the instructions. The first 5 numbers, 1, 3, 6, 10, 15. So as you guys can see, we read the instructions wrong. I wanted to do this to show you that this is actually fine. In programming, this will happen a lot to you. But what you're going to want to do is you're actually going to want to just persevere and continue on, right? So you're going to want to try and troubleshoot. You're going to want to look at the resources first. What are triangle numbers? Let's continue on to this website, actually. Right? So what are they? We can watch this video. I don't want to watch this video right now, so I'm going to continue to the next one. Math is fun, right? So here's what it's doing. It's basically adding the permutation below it, plus it, right? Because you have 1 plus 3. So that's actually... Okay, so we've figured out the pattern, right? It's 5 plus... Right. So we're going to want to... We haven't found anything from this, really. We're not able to interpret the pattern correctly. So we're going to want to just continue, right? So this is all part of the process. I'm going to show you, okay, well, this is obviously not good. So we're going to think of an equation that we can fit from this actual thing. So we're going to want to return something real quick from it. And then we're going to think, well, n, right? We're going to need to use n. If we go back to here, it's being times by the actual n plus 1, right? So if you look at just number 4, it's being times by the n plus 1, which is 5. And n is 4, so you get 20 right there, right? But it's 10. So you try and think like, oh, is that divided by 2 then? So we're gonna see if that works for number 5. 5 is 15 dots, right? So it's 5 plus 1, 6. 6 times 5 is 30. Divided by 2, that's 15. So we actually figured this out. Now you're gonna figure stuff out like this a lot in programming, and this is big. You're gonna wanna, first of all, using simple algebra rules, put it inside. You're gonna have your spacing correctly. So I just wanted to show you guys the actual process of troubleshooting within programming. I obviously knew this answer from the start, but I wanted to show you guys exactly how it felt in a normal sense to be working through problems, figuring out stuff, redoing stuff, and just resolving it. Now, when I said there was 2 at the start, you can also just do this on a separate line and then return the actual variable. Did it like this for simplicity. I wanted to show you guys how troubleshooting works, but yeah, so we're gonna polish this one off right now and continue to the next one. Okay, perfect. So we have finished this one up. We're gonna submit it. And we're gonna mark this as medium because we've had some struggles, right? Theoretically, we had some struggles with this. So we're gonna mark this as medium. We're like, okay, that was a little bit tough for us right now. So we're gonna continue. Now, we're gonna go back up to the challenges tab right now. And we're gonna go to the absolute sum. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the absolute sum. I'm gonna go into our code and we're gonna start working on this. So first we need a total. So we're gonna do int total. Then we're gonna set that equal to 0 just because we want it to be 0. Then we're gonna write our for loop. For loops are big, remember that. We're gonna go make our next int. I'm just gonna name it G. Doesn't matter what you name it. G equals 0. Then whilst G is less than the array size. This is gonna be a big function that you're gonna use a lot in C++. And then you're gonna go G++. And so we're gonna put our brackets here. We're gonna write if, right? If the array of G is less than 0, then we're gonna say that the array of, the array of G, we're gonna set an int s equals the array of G, the array of G times so that's not what we want to do. Int s equals, right, we're going to say int s equals the array of G times -1. So now we have our actual in its non-negative form, and then we're going to add to our total plus equals the s, right? So we're gonna end that with a semicolon, and then below this, down here within this, else, right? We're gonna write our else statement. Else total plus equals the array of G. Right, so this is gonna be perfect. We could have used an absolute value function that's built in with a certain library header file within C++. We built our own. It works fine. We're going to be good. Right, so I'm just going to continue on here. Else, and then we want to return our total. So down here, we're going to do return total. So this should work if I've done it correctly, but never can be too sure. Within here, I might have one error somewhere, but it works, right? So we've written our own code. This is probably the longest code we've written yet together. So this is pretty simple. You know, we're gonna go through our int total as 0. We're gonna initialize our variable that is actually through here. Then we're gonna put this all the way down, and we're gonna have our for loop that's gonna go through each iteration of this actual vector, which is named array subsequently, through the if statement that turns it to the absolute value. We're going to add the absolute value, the thing that's been turned to the absolute value, and then we're going to have this total plus equals the array of G, which is just for the ones that are already non-negative numbers. Then we're just going to return our total number. So we're just going to submit this as our final, and then we're going to continue on to our final easy challenge before we continue into some medium challenges, which are going to be even more difficult. But of course, if you guys are beginners, you guys are probably not going to want to start any medium challenges soon and work your way up more. Okay, so here, right, each syllable is separated with a dash. You can this is going to be a very simple program. By now, you guys get the gist of out of it. I'm just going to be going through this. So we're going to do a for loop just because we don't want to use count functions yet. We don't want to use those right now. We want to work on building our own from the ground. So we first have to initialize our variable int G. I like to use G a lot. You guys will get used to whatever you guys use. G equals 0. G is less than. You can also do G equals 1, less than equal to, but I do G equals 0. It doesn't really matter in most situations. G is less than the word actual size, and then G++. Pretty straightforward. You guys have seen that a lot before. So then we're going to continue on through this program. So we're going to want to count the number of these and then add 1 to it. It's pretty simple. It's a pretty simple way to break it down. So we're gonna write an if, the array of, the word of G equals. You can do this with strings too. That's actually the beautiful thing. You can find and pinpoint certain characters within a string. We're gonna say if it equals, I think we're gonna have to do a character, which is this. Then we're gonna do, we're gonna have our count function, int count, and then we're gonna do count plus plus. Count equals 1. That's what we're gonna really want to do. And then from there, it should be pretty straightforward if we just return our actual count. So we're just gonna put this into our REPL, copy paste it within here. I've been working on some other stuff, but we're not gonna do that. So from within here, we're gonna be working on just testing it out. Working on the tests within here is a great thing that I would definitely recommend. So we're just gonna take this, we're gonna print it within our main function, which is big. So we're just gonna print this, and we're just gonna see if we've done it correctly. It should equal 2, which is 2 syllables. So we can pretty much assume we can do more tests. I'll do one more to show you guys what it would actually be usually like. So we're just gonna replace this with this. I don't know why it's showing that as wrong. We actually don't need this. We copied it wrong, and then we should be able to get 3. So we know that our actual program is working fine. Hopefully, if we didn't mess anything up or not read the instructions correctly, we've gotten this. We've got it. So that's gonna be our final easy. We're gonna move on to one medium to finish it off, and then I think we're gonna end the episode there. But yeah, this should be helping you guys a lot within your coding experience, and especially with Edibit. So we're gonna be reaching 100 XP range, which is decent. We're just gonna continue to our next challenge. So while it's loading, all right. So we're just gonna go into one medium problem. Now this one's gonna be a bit tough. I'm not gonna do the quadratic equation just to not complicate it more. So we're just gonna do the one. We're just gonna do a random one from here. We will do the check if same case, right? Okay, so this one wants us to create a function that returns true if an input string contains only uppercase or only lowercase letters. Okay, so we're gonna say, right? We're gonna write a for loop first, int g, and then we're gonna do for g equals 0. G is less than the string size, g plus plus. Okay, so that we're gonna want to run something on each character in the string. So we're gonna say if the string of g equals string of g is greater than or equal to 65 and less than or equal to 90, then we're gonna say that we're just gonna add, so we're just gonna put in a count function here, and we're gonna set it equals 0, and we're gonna make it type in int count equals 0. So we're gonna just take, and we're just gonna do count plus plus, and that's gonna be it. But right, else if we're just gonna copy this, and there's something we need to do to it also, but and the string of g is less than or equal to 90. We're gonna have to do that up here too, because we forgot that. We can't forget that. Okay. Right, so we want some conditions for this too. We're gonna do count minus minus. Right, so this is a very simple code so far. You're like, wait, but these are letters, right? They don't have numbers. So first what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our int, we're gonna make a new int up here, actually, int a, and we're gonna say a equals the int of the string of G, right? So now we can actually remove these all and just make them A. So we're just gonna make all these A, and we're just gonna, at the end, we're gonna do A equals 0 to set it, reset it, you know? And so if and then we need to change these numbers to 97 and I think 122. Let me make sure that makes sense. Is there a gap? That's correct, yeah. Okay. So then down here, what we're gonna wanna do at the end, after we've ran all of that, we're gonna wanna see, right? So our length of our string is going to be how much? If we have a word, just say we. It's gonna be, our size is gonna be 2. So we're gonna want our count to be 2. If our count equals that of the negative, we know that all numbers are in the same case and they're negative. If that equals the one of the positive, right, then we know that they're all of the positive one that we want. So I think what we're gonna do, right, this makes sense. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna say, write another if statement down here. If, right, the count is greater than 0, right, and our count equals, right, our string size, then we're gonna put return true. Then we're gonna do another else if. We're gonna copy this. Else if our count is less than 0 and our count equals our string size times -1, right? Then we're gonna say it's true. Then we're gonna say else, and then we're gonna put our brackets, return false. Now this is just me. I'm freehanding this like I did the others, but this one's a somewhat tough one, so I'm probably not gonna get it on the first try. So we're just gonna take this, just gonna put it into here. Hi guys, checking in real quick. So I realized I didn't explain everything in full detail of what I was doing in this challenge. I'm not gonna go to the code because I already have it done, but what I was doing here is actually going in. So when I put int in the little parentheses, that's me converting it to its ASCII value or ASCII value, and then I'm checking to see if that ASCII value kind of fits into actually the range that it would be the same case. An ASCII value is basically just a number assigned to every sort of character on a keyboard and stuff. So I was just seeing if the ASCII value was within the lowercase letters or the uppercase letters. I just wanted to put that in there because I don't think I explained it that much of what I was doing there. So yeah, gonna remove our hello world, which is what comes with each one. Gonna put this in here. Okay, so we caught one mistake right there. We needed a semicolon in the back, and then we're just gonna take the same case thing from up here. We're gonna see out, then we're gonna put this in here, semicolon, delete all of this, then we're gonna test out a string. Good, we'll just say. It should return true. I don't know. Okay, so it returned true because it's type bool, it returned 1. Now what if we put good? False. What if we put good? Okay, my internet's being a bit patchy. Sorry about this inconvenience, guys. Internet is being really weird. Try to turn it off and on real quick. So, okay, we're back, I think. I think we're back online. Right, because it's booting up right now. Again, sorry about this. Okay, we're back. Just gonna rerun this. Okay. Yes, so I think it's working. So we're just gonna check this right now and just see if it's working. Oh yeah, we forgot to add back in our little semicolon to our original code. Small thing. And we got it. So there's the final medium challenge for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did enjoy, make sure to subscribe, make sure to like, make sure to do all of that. And don't forget to comment down below some challenges that you think I should do. Here's one last look at the code. You guys can look at it, analyze it, see what I did. Instructions are here if you guys want to try it for yourself. Yeah, so thank you guys very much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Oh, let me submit it as well. Yeah, so see you guys in the next one. Bye.